Today, we are diving deep into the wild, high-stakes world of entrepreneurship. It's a place where amazing ideas are a dime a dozen, but actually surviving, that's the real trick. We're going to zero in on the one trait that separates the forgotten startups from the founders who literally change the world.
So let's just start with a number, a huge one, 90%. Let that sink in for a second. 9 out of every 10 startups fail. For every massive success story you see splashed across the headlines, there are 9 others that have completely crashed and burned. This isn't just some abstract statistic, folks. It's a graveyard of dreams, money, and thousands of hours of grinding.
In this quote right here, it comes from someone who has lived inside that 90%. Serial founder Jarrod Kanizay just nails it. See, it's not about trying to avoid failure. That's impossible. It's all about enduring it, learning from it, and just surviving long enough to hit those incredible, game-changing moments of success.
So what is it? What really separates the survivors from the statistics? Well, as we're about to see, it's not just about having a brilliant idea. It's about the unstoppable, unbreakable will of the person pushing it forward.
And this is exactly why we're listening to Kanizay. He's not some theorist in an ivory tower. He is a battlefield veteran. I mean, look at this track record. 15 companies launched. 10 of them failed. But through all that, he managed to build a global powerhouse. His insights were earned through pure scar tissue, and that makes them incredibly valuable.
And this whole conversation has never been more critical. Right now, founders are stuck in a total pressure cooker. You've got global economic weirdness, the tightest funding we've seen in years, and AI just casually rewriting the rules for entire industries every single week. The psychological pressure is just off the charts.
Okay, so you might be thinking, this is all cool, but I'm not a founder, so what's in it for me? But here's the thing. The resilience we're talking about today, it's a universal superpower. Seriously. Whether you're trying to land a promotion, lead a really tough project, or chase any big goal, the ability to stay disciplined when things get crazy and to bounce back from failure, that is your secret weapon.
So what does a survivor actually look like? What are the core psychological building blocks that let someone just power through these storms? Let's get into the anatomy of a truly resilient founder.
First up, we have conscientiousness. It's one of the big 5 personality traits that psychologists talk about. And it doesn't mean being a creative genius. It means being a disciplined machine. This is the person who, when they're staring at a mountain of problems, doesn't freak out. They just grab a shovel and start digging. Day in, day out, with this relentless, methodical focus.
And the second key trait? Emotional stability. The startup journey is just a brutal roller coaster of insane highs and crushing lows. One day you land a huge client. The next day, your main competitor launches something that could kill your business. Emotional stability is what lets a founder stay cool, calm, and collected and make smart decisions when everyone else is hitting the panic button.
Here's a really great way to think about these 2 traits together. Imagine your company is a car. Conscientiousness, that's your engine. It's the powerful, reliable force that moves you forward every single day. But emotional stability, that's your suspension system. Those are the shock absorbers that smooth out the insanely bumpy road so you don't spin out of control at the very first pothole. You need both.
And what powers all of this is a fundamental belief system. Resilient founders have what psychologists call an internal locus of control. It's a fancy term, but it just means that when things go wrong, they don't blame the market or their investors or bad luck. They look in the mirror. They ask, okay, what did I miss? How can I do this differently? And just like that, every failure stops being a dead end and becomes a lesson.
Now, this resilience isn't tested just once. It's tested over and over again across a long, grueling journey. You can almost think of it like a startup gestation process with 3 distinct phases where most companies and their founders completely break. First, there's pre-incubation. This is where you're just fighting to get the idea off the ground against a constant wall of, that'll never work. Then you hit incubation, and we call this the graveyard for a reason. This is where you're burning through cash, desperately trying to find your place in the market. It's where that 90% failure rate really sinks its teeth in. And if you somehow survive that, you hit acceleration, where success creates its own brand of chaos, hiring the wrong people, things breaking, painful pivots. Each phase requires a whole different level of grit.
And getting through these phases, wow, it comes at a massive personal cost. Behind all the shiny magazine covers and success stories, there's a hidden epidemic of mental and emotional strain that we absolutely have to talk about.
Just look at this. Research shows that founders are 5 times more prone to anxiety than the average person. Not 50% more, 5 times. That's not a small jump. It is a seismic shift in mental health. It's like the price of admission for trying to build something from absolutely nothing.
And a huge study from the UCL School of Management paints an even bleaker picture. 76% of founders feel lonely. An incredible 93% show signs of mental strain. 69% live with a constant fear of failure. And maybe the most revealing number of all, 57% feel guilty when they take a break. Their brains are literally wired to burn themselves out.
And this is where you can see the split so clearly. It's a tale of two founders. The high resilience founder, they see failure as data. It fuels them to pivot faster. The low resilience founder internalizes it, and it paralyzes them with self-doubt. They're 4 times more likely to feel overwhelmed and twice as likely to just give up during that brutal incubation phase. The difference is absolutely night and day.
But okay, after all that doom and gloom, here is the most important, most hopeful part of this entire story. Resilience is not some fixed trait you're born with. It is a muscle, and just like any other muscle, you can train it. You can build it.
So how do you do it? Well, Jarrod Kanizay gives us a pretty clear playbook. Number 1, fail fast and fail often. Make small mistakes so routine that they lose their emotional power over you. Number 2, hire people who are better than you. This fights that isolation and covers your blind spots. Number 3, remember that slow is fast. Be deliberate, test your ideas, and avoid sprinting full speed towards a cliff. And 4, maybe the most important, build your ecosystem. Nobody survives this alone. You need peers, mentors, coaches, a whole network to keep you grounded.
Now, it's important we keep a balanced perspective here. As this quote says, resilience is not a magic wand. It keeps you in the fight, it gives you more at-bats, more chances to win. But it can't save a fundamentally bad idea. You still need a product or a service that people actually want to buy.
So we're going to end with this question, and it's not just for founders. It's for anyone with a big dream. Every single one of us has a major test coming. A huge project, a career pivot, a personal challenge that will push us to our absolute limits. So the real question isn't if it's coming. The question is, what are you doing to train for it right now? Because in the end, your talent might get you into the game, but it's your resilience that will carry you across the finish line.